banker used own money to top up Datuk Sri Najib's account. Good afternoon, I'm Renee Fong. Thanks for choosing News on 2. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah and the Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Haja Aziza Aminah Maimunah Iskandaria attended the royal banquet held at the Istana Negara last night. The royal banquet was held in conjunction with the installation of Sultan Abdullah as the 16th Yang di-Pertuan Agong. The event graced by the presence of the King of Brunei Sultan Hassan Al Bolkiah and his consort Raja Isteri Pengiran Anak Hajah Saleha, as well as the Malay rulers and royalties. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad and wife Tun Dr. Siti Hasmah Muhammad Ali, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail and husband Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, Cabinet Ministers, foreign envoys and dignitaries, as well as senior government officials were among the 700 guests present at the dinner. Entertainment for the night started with a traditional dance, Ayak Ayak by Permata Seni Tari, followed by a special presentation of a video capsule depicting the lives of the royal couple and excerpts of the king's installation ceremony. Other entertainment included instrumental rendition of Pahang traditional songs such as Wali Nong Sari, Burung Kenek-Kenek, Menghilir Sungai Pahang, Lemak Manis Tebang Tebu, and Kain Songket by orchestra RTM. Traditional dance Joget Pahang by Permata Seni Tari ended the performance of the night. Meanwhile, the Allah Selamatkan Tuanku song filled the royal banquet hall as a surprise for Sultan Abdullah. The birthday surprise came just as His Majesty and the Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Haja Aziza Aminah, along with the King of Brunei Sultan Hassan Al Bolkiah and his consort, were getting ready to leave after attending the royal banquet. Songstress Dayang Nur Faizah and the children of Permata Seni Choir began to serenade the king with a song before those present joined in, while the palace officials rolled out a throne-inspired birthday cake. His Majesty also stayed a little to mingle before bidding goodnight to the guests. Former M-Bank Relationship Manager Joanna Yu Ging Ping, 48, who handled Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak's account in M-Bank, told the Kuala Lumpur High Court yesterday that she had to use her own money to regularize the account in 2014. Yu said the ex-Prime Minister's account was overdrawn by 55,000 ringgit due to the issuance of a 80,000 ringgit cheque without sufficient balance, and she had to make the move to prevent the cheque from bouncing. Yu said she had to use her own money as she could not get funds from Josie, the Secretary of Fugitive Jolo, and his associate Ki Kok Tiam. The 54th prosecution witness said this during cross-examination by counsel Harvinderjit Singh on the 46th day of Datuk Sri Najib's trial. Datuk Sri Najib is facing 3 counts of criminal breach of trust, 1 count of abusing his position, and 3 counts of money laundering involving SRC international funds amounting to 42 million ringgit. Harvinderjit also read out the transcript of the conversation Yu had with Jolo and former Putra Perdana Group CEO Jerome Lee on 10 September 2014. The BlackBerry chat log reveals that Yu contacted Low on the morning of 10 September 2014 to inform him that a sum of 3.8 million ringgit must be wired into Datuk Sri Najib's account by 3 p.m. the same day. The log also mentioned that the 5 million ringgit cheque would have to be returned if he failed to do so. The hearing before Judge Muhammad Nazlan Muhammad Ghazali continues today. In another development, the Kuala Lumpur High Court has set aside the leave obtained by Attorney General Tommy Thomas to initiate committal proceedings against lawyer Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi Abdullah over his media statement in relation to former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Razak's case. This was followed by Judge Datuk Muhammad Feroz Jafril's decision in allowing Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi's application to set aside the leave obtained by the AG. Dato' Muhammad Firuz, in his judgment, said the originating summons OS filed by the AG was lacking in particulars on the contempt charge against Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi. The court also ordered that the AG to pay 30,000 ringgit in costs to Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi, who was named as defendant in the originating summons. On 1st March, the court allowed Thomas leave to initiate contempt of court proceedings against the defendant on grounds that there was a prima facie case for contempt. Thomas, in his originating summons, said Tan Sri Shafi had made a statement that was deemed contemptuous to the judge and would undermine the administration of justice and public confidence in the judicial system of the country. He was alleged to have made the comment in response to questions from journalists that Datuk Sri Najib's defence team could win the trial if the judge is straight, witnesses are not coached, and evidence is not fabricated. The comment was made on 7 February after court proceedings, and it was aired on a news portal. Meanwhile, the Kuala Lumpur High Court also set 4th October for the hearing of the prosecution's application to forfeit 1MDB-linked funds seized from Johor UMNO Liaison Committee and Sabah Liberal Democratic Party (LDP). The government is seeking to forfeit 677,872 ringgit 55 cent from Johor UMNO Liaison and 509,560 ringgit 96 cent from LDP. Justice Colin Lawrence Sequeira set the date at yesterday's proceeding, during which the prosecution was represented by Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (DPP) Deputy Public Prosecutor Nik Hazlini Hashim. UMNO Johor Liaison Committee was represented by Counsel Muhammad Haziq Diauddin Razali, while Sabah LDP by Datuk Jagjit Singh. The judge also set 4th September for case management and 19th August for the respondents to file their respective reply affidavits. The prosecution applied for the forfeiture under Section 56 subsection 1 of the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act 2001. The Petaling Jaya Magistrates Court yesterday sentenced local actor Muhammad Shofi Jikan to 12 months in prison after he was found guilty of drug usage last year. Magistrate Muhammad Ikhwan Muhammad Nasir sentenced the KL gangster star, also known as Sofi Jikan, after the defence had failed to raise reasonable doubt against the prosecution's case. Deputy Public Prosecutor Amir Abdul Hamid appeared for the prosecution, while Sofi Jikan, 49, was represented by lawyer Datuk Hanif Hassan. The court also ruled that he would begin his prison sentence starting yesterday and be put under the supervision of the National Anti-Drugs Agency (NADA) for 3 years. However, the court allowed the lawyer's application for a temporary suspension to Sofi's sentence, while an appeal was filed by raising the bail from 3,000 to 9,000 ringgit. 5 prosecution witnesses and a defence witness, Sofi Jikan himself, testified at the trial. On 13 February last year, Sofi Jikan was charged with using the drugs 11-Nordelta, 9-tetrahydrocannabinol, 9-carboxylic acid or THC at the Narcotics Office of the Petaling Jaya District Police Headquarters at 11:15 p.m. on 6 February 2018. The charge under Section 15, Subsection 1, Subsection A of the Dangerous Drugs Act carries a maximum jail term of 2 years or a fine of 5,000 ringgit or both upon conviction. Police have ruled out any criminal element in the death of a Sungai Petani jail detainee at the Sultan Abdul Halim Hospital in Kedah on Tuesday. Kuala Muda Police Chief ACP Azli Abu Shah says a post-mortem at the Sultanah Bahia Hospital SBH Alostar yesterday found that the 21-year-old jail detainee had died of viral infection to his heart valve. Elaborating further on the matter, ACP Azli said in this regard, police has classified the case as sudden death based on the result of the post-mortem by the forensic unit and SBH. He also said that on the first day he was taken to the hospital on 24 July. The record of the doctor who treated him said the detainee did not complain he was assaulted. The detainee only complained of fever, weakness and vomiting when asked by the doctor. The Kuala Muda Police Chief further noted that although the case had been classified verify the sudden death, the police would conduct further investigation following claims by the detainee's fiancé that he had been assaulted while in custody. 3 siblings appealed to the Ministry of Home Affairs to expedite the process for them to obtain Malaysian citizenship. The 3 siblings, aged 19, 15 and 10, who live at Kampong Baru Pau, Arau, were born at Tuanku Fauzia Hospital, Kangar, each with their own birth certificate. According to 19-year-old Ng Yi Cheng, she is not able to get a job nor pursue studies at university level, while her 2 siblings, Ng Yi Wei and Ng Yi Zhong, have been unable to get financial aid for schooling, and thus the family had to cough up the cost in order for them to get an education. Yi Cheng said this to the media at his home in Kampong Baru Pau. According to their father, Ng Bun Heng, the issue of citizenship emerged after he married a Thai national, and they registered their marriage late. They registered their marriage only in 2012 after the birth of their 3rd child in 2009. To date, Bun Heng has filed citizenship applications to the Home Ministry twice in 2012 and 2014 but has failed to get approval. He said as for his latest application in 2016, the status is still in the approval process based on a notification letter received from the ministry in March this year. Coming up next, Rumah Selangorku, home ownership still low. The Selangor government has received 189,892 applications for the Rumah Selangorku program in the past 5 years. But sadly, only a fraction of the applicants ended up owning the homes offered. Housing and Urban Living Committee Chairman Haniza Talha says that from that number, only 24,243 received offer letters.
Sebenarnya dari segi syarat kelayakan untuk dapat rumah Selangorku ini memang layak. Tapi hanya bank telah menetapkan syarat yang sangat ketat. Jadi mereka tak dapat pembiayaan daripada bank yang sedia ada lah. So yang itu dalam proses.
Speaking to the media after launching the Rumah Selangorku exhibition booth at the Selangor State Assembly Hall lobby in Shah Alam, Haniza said that her committee was looking into alternative measures including negotiating with various banks that could offer home financing without imposing stringent requirements. She further noted that her committee would also hold talks with the Housing and Local Government Ministry to jointly implement a state-level rent-to-own program, which is seen as the best platform for the people of Selangor to own a house. Johor State Wildlife and National Parks Department Perhilitan enforcement officers have detained 3 men for hunting wild boars without valid documents at Gunung Panti Recreational Forest in Kota Tinggi on Tuesday. Johor Perhilitan Director Salman Saban said the wild boar was believed to be hunted for consumption. Salman said the suspects aged between 27 and 54 were detained along with a 4-wheel drive vehicle and firearms during an integrated operation of the Johor Wildlife Conservation Project, JWCP. Perhilitan officers also seized the wild boar meat and handed it over to the Mersing District Perhilitan office. The case is being investigated under Section 60 of the Wildlife Conservation Act 2010, Act 716, for hunting or keeping protected wildlife without a license. If convicted, the suspects could face up to 2 years imprisonment and a fine of not more than 50,000 ringgit or both. An Indonesian man was killed after being buried in rubble along with a bulldozer in an incident that took place along Jalan Kuari Pecah Batu, Kulim, Kedah yesterday. The Fire and Rescue Department in a statement said the victim, known as Mujantoro, 45, was confirmed dead by the Ministry of Health. The rescue operation led by Senior Fire Officer 2 Zaidi Yaakob, along with 5 personnel, were rushed to the scene after receiving an urgent call at 12:45 p.m. Upon arrival, firefighters discovered that a victim had been buried along with the bulldozer he had been driving after a landslide took place. The firefighters responded with the help of the bulldozer company to extricate the victim. The victim's body was then handed over to the Ministry of Health and the police for further action. Fire destroyed 70% of 2 blocks of the 4,833 meter square feet a mattress processing plant in Pelabuhan Darat, Segamat yesterday. Bandar Baru Segamat Fire and Rescue Department Chief Operations Commander Muhammad Hazim Abdul Razak said the department received an emergency call at about 2:38 p.m. Investigations revealed that the fire was caused by oilseed husks, which were being burned outside the building before the flames spread towards the factory building. Strong winds and limited water resources also contributed to the spread of the flames. A total of 24 members and 5 fire engines from the 5 nearby fire and rescue departments were mobilized to the scene after receiving a distress call. Fortunately, no casualties were reported. The cause and extent of damages are still being investigated by the authorities. Authorities were still unable to search for 2 boat drivers and a resort worker in Pulau Tenggol who were reported missing since yesterday in the waters of Kuala Dungun, Terengganu. The 3 have been identified as Fauzi Muhammad 40, Muhammad Firdaus Muhammad Awaluddin 25 and Muhammad Hafiz Abdul Rahim 22. Dungun Police Chief Superintendent Baharuddin Abdullah said today's search and rescue operations were conducted by 12 Marine Police personnel and MMEA personnel using 4 boats. 12 civilians were also involved in the rescue operations using 4 boats belonging to the resort. In yesterday's incident, the 3 individuals had gone out on a boat at about 12:30 and were expected to return about an hour later but failed. A police report was lodged by the resort management at 4 p.m. yesterday after they failed to contact the 3 individuals. For Japanese breakdancer Shigeyuki Nakarai, the prospect of winning a gold medal at the 2024 Paris Olympics has become something of an obsession. The proposal by Paris organizers in February to include the street dance lit a fire under the 17-year-old, aka Shige Kicks, who took bronze at last year's Youth Olympics in Buenos Aires.
音楽から観客の声から全てこの雰囲気を自分が感じ取ってそれを自分の気持ちとともにアウトプットするような、イメージで、自分は踊っていて、なんかそういった風にこう自分が考えたまま思ったまま感じたままに動きに映し出せるっていうそういった部分が
Arguably, Japan's best Olympic hope, Shige Kicks has unfinished business. Meanwhile, Red Bull member Ami Yuasa last year became the first female world champion at the sports marketing giant's inaugural Beagle World Finals in Zurich.
でもやっぱり今までこう自分たちがやったことがオリンピックっていうそのでかい大会につながるのって本当に素晴らしいことだし、それがブレイクになるってなった時にそれを挑戦してみないっていうことになるのは逆に悲しいと思うから。
The International Olympic Committee (IOC) has voted to approve the addition of breakdancing, which grew up alongside hip-hop in the South Bronx of New York in the 1970s. The decision still has to be rubber-stamped at the IOC's Executive Commission in December next year. But after accepting hipster sports skateboarding and surfing into 2020 Tokyo Olympics, it's widely seen as a done deal. That concludes this afternoon's edition of News on 2. In our top story, at least 34 killed as Afghan bus hits roadside bombed. News on 2 is on the lookout for editors and presenters for our bulletins. If you are interested to join our English news team, please email your application and CV to newson2@gmail.com. Till then, I'm Renee Fong signing off for News on 2.